Oh, you ready to go? Emily just took off the logo.
No, this is. Yeah, I think they're the same person.
You think Honey Boo Boo and JoJo Siwa are the same person?
Did I spell that right? Or is it
Honey? I think it's honey like what
honey.
bees make. Honey Boo Boo. JoJo Siwa, Honey Boo Boo, same person. Oh, okay. Oh, she's
Move
from
over, Honey Boo Boo. Dance Mom's resident blonde. Jojo Swiwa. ...
We've said it wrong every time we've said it so far.
It doesn't matter. Fuck. I broke it. Oh.
How did Honey Boo Boo get famous? Because that JoJo.
She was on. No, there was a show.
Moms.
She had her own. Honey Boo Boo
Yeah, I know
had a
she had her own show,
Like,
but did they just find her and like start
yeah,
doing
I think
it
they
then?
just sought her out.
Oh wait, or was she on? Was she like a toddler in Tiaras?
No.
Emily is saying yes, she was. I don't know. Emily watches 90 Day Fiance, so she's tapped into that world more than we are.
How did
Kirstie? Oh, that's right. Kirstie Alley's dead.
No, she's not. That's just.
You're right. She's JoJo Siwa. JoJo
No,
Siwa, Honey Boo Boo, and
her-
Kirstie Alley are all the same
Her
person.
Elvis
She
and
was a
Tupac are
toddler.
kicking it somewhere.
Kirstie Alley, no offense, she's
know
not.
who that
She's
is.
not. She
I
was
didn't know
on
who Kirstie
Cheers,
Alley
and
is.
she was like
Oh,
a Jenny
she was on
Craig
Cheers.
lady and stuff.
Oh, the
and
Jenny. Oh, Jenny Craig.
I mean, she basically was Jenny Craig.
Jenny Craig.
But she like for a while, she was like, you know how there's like one celebrity will be like the touchstone for like fat, like shitty person. And like all the jokes people make have like that person as the punchline for like a couple years.
Like
or whatever.
how Martha, when everybody was making fun of Martha Stewart for getting arrested.
Yeah, so like that sort of thing.
Like, oh, don't
Kirstie Alley like was that punching bag for like a while, which is always wild when like everybody's like, oh fuck this lady, and then
Oh, I remember.
they die, or like fuck this person, and then they die. It's like they were a true angel, and oh my god, everything's so sad. She had cancer though.
Cheers.
Oh, she was in Look Who's Talking. She was in Summer School with Mark Harmon. Okay, so she's got a pretty good resume. She's starring alongside Jethro Gibbs. She was in this movie called, I want to say like The Tooth Fairy or something.
I don't see it. No, the Tooth Fairy is the one with.
No, this is a different Tooth Fairy movie though.
I mean, I'm looking at all of her movies.
It's a
right here,
it's-
Toothers.
Yeah, is that what it's called? Toothless. So I think this movie is like she dies. The premise of this movie is Kirstie Alley's character dies, and then she is gonna get sent to hell. There's like this elevator, and it like shuts, and she's like, it starts
scary.
sinking down, and then I guess God is like, you know what? If you do a good job as the Tooth Fairy for a little while, I'll let you go to heaven. So she's like, deal. And then she's like, oh boy, being the Tooth Fairy is a lot harder than I thought. And then I think she goes to, and then she like goes to hell. I'm sure eventually, like they like at the end, I'm sure it somehow gets fixed. But I do remember at one point she's dressed as the Tooth Fairy in this massive pink prom dress, tiara, wand, basically Honey Boo Boo outfit, and she's like ugly crying in this elevator as it's slowly sinking into hell. Oh, that kid. What the fuck is that kid from? Oh my god, it's some movie I feel like where people are like telling him to shut up.
Reservoir Dogs.
It's Reservoir Dogs. Yes, he's Mr. Brown. That's what it is. That's right.
Oh, that's Brent Jacobs. What's that guy's name we were talking about earlier?
Fred Durst?
Fred Durst.
Child star Fred Durst.
That's Fred Durst?
No, Matthew, that's not. Oh, God, what the fuck is that kid in, though? That's going to drive me crazy.
Let's see.
Ross. Oh, you just missed him. Click that right there. Ross Malinger. What is he? Sleepless
Toothless.
in Seattle. That's not it.
Club Vampire.
Kindergarten Cop.
50 cutest child stars all grown up.
Oh, God, that's brutal.
He made the list, though, it sounds like. Here's a show.
Yeah, maybe.
Recess.
Who was he on Recess? I wonder. I bet you he was DJ was the main guy's name.
Sure.
That was a good show. That show is underrated, I would say, as far as like
Recess?
yeah, 100%.
The playground was an all-time playground.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They did it right. But that show was awesome.
I guess that was the whole point of the show, huh? It was called Recess.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I remember, like there was like it was a city of a playground.
Yeah, there was always
People
like
had hangout or forts in there.
yeah. It was like kind of a segregated playground.
Very
like,
much
this
so.
is where the digging kids hang out.
Yeah.
You remember the digging kids?
No.
They're
They
these
just
fucking
dug.
twins that went to school with hard hats and like helmet lights on.
Yeah, just in
and
case.
they just like
never be
the
too
whole
sure.
reason. Their whole reason for going to school
Was
was
to
because
dig.
when that recess bell rang, they could go outside and dig.
I love to dig, man.
I wonder what their grades were like.
You don't choose to dig.
They're like, I'm
Digging
like,
chooses you, Andy.
Mr. Dig, I'm sorry, but I've got to talk to you about your children's math scores. They're like, how's their digging? They don't need math down in the hole. It's like, why are you even sending them to school?
Just let them dig, man.
Just let them dig. They got to dig. They got to learn to dig with, like, children their own
Well,
age.
digging
They
was
gotta dig
big,
with
though.
peers. Digging was such a
On
big
the
part of our
playground.
lives when we were young.
Everybody wanted to make it to China.
Oh, man.
Nobody ever did that I know of.
The whole to China is like the prime example of starting out so strong and just giving up so fast.
Well, yeah, because you were usually digging with some type of either plastic, like sand style
Yeah.
shovel, or like just the largest wood chip you could find. Like, that was your utensil.
That's true.
Nobody
we
was-
did not have any.
Nobody
actual
was giving you a
tools.
spade to sit there and hack away at.
dig.
Yeah.
That's
This isn't
true.
holes, bud.
That's right. They had it easy on holes. I don't know what fucking Stanley Yelnats was complaining about. We had Miss Patty's backyard. It was wood chips all day. That was the only
Yeah,
material that we had.
but they also had to deal with a lot more like poisonous lizards than we ever did at daycare. But
know.
I will say, one time I have a specific memory of digging with a giant wood chip one time.
Yeah.
And I came across what I would think is probably the world's largest ant. And it was red, too. And I have not dug a hole since.
Spooky.
Yeah.
That was my digging
was
days are
it.
done.
Mhm.
This is a young man's
Took
game.
off my hard hat and said, "This ain't for me, boys."
when that factory whistle blows and you get,
Yeah.
oh man, oh give me some fruit snacks. You're just Bruce Springsteen out there on the playground digging. Oh,
Give me some hamburger helper
oh,
and
oh,
a
my
nap.
back.
And a nap.
Oh.
Nap time? Did we have nap?
Thinking about
was-
running a train, hopping a train to nowhere.
Did you see that
Leaving her on behind.
the train people might strike?
What the train like Chris Pine's train style people in that Unstoppable movie or whatever it was called?
Well, when I first heard about this, I imagined like
Train strike.
train strike,
Train strike. Oh yeah, I did see a tweet about this actually.
rail strike.
The averted national rail strike. Oh, okay, Biden signed something.
Oh, Joey B.
Yeah.
Byron
So it looks like he stopped it.
making
Joe
a
Byron.
strike illegal.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
fixed it.
There
Problem
you
solved.
go. Yeah, nailed it.
Come on, man. Come on.
Communism.
You know the deal. Can't do that. It's bad. I was born on a train. I was one of the boxcar children. From boxcar to White House, the Joe Biden story.
Don't look it up.
Don't look that up. It's true, man. I'm telling you. My best friend, Encyclopedia Brown.
You're doing a little bit too much Bill Clinton now.
Yeah, you know
Different
what? Fuck
people.
it. It's
But
so-
I
it's
agree
too
that
fun.
I
Too
often
fun.
group them together in my own brain.
Bill and Joe.
Like I
Because they're
think
just a couple of poon hounds running this town.
I think
running DC.
I think if you did a face mash of
Yeah.
them, they would look this exactly the same.
What? What? Like, doesn't make any sense. Like, if you combine both their faces,
They
they
would
would
just
just
look
it would
like-
be unchanged.
They would both look like younger versions of themselves.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Or if you if you aged Bill Clinton's face, I think he would.
Look more like Joe Biden. His hairline's a lot better.
They might be the same people. Have you ever seen them both in the same room at the same time?
I'm sure if you only on fucking Epstein's
Yeah.
Island, am I right, buddy? Shout out. Yeah, that's right. Self knuckle.
Yeah.
We're this
I
close
set you
to
up
each
for
other.
that
We
one.
got it.
Yeah, you're
very
welcome.
I know. I fumbled it a little bit, but at the end of the day, we got it across the line and scored a TD for the fellas. The holiday season is in full swing, folks, and you don't want to be caught not bringing something to the party, okay? Even if somebody goes, oh, no, we've got everything under control, don't bring anything. Don't be rude, okay? Bring a little something nice, okay? And it's going to be so easy for you because you don't even have to leave your house to get it. You can still be the holiday hero you were always meant to be when you use Instacart. They do not pay us enough for these ads. They got to put that in their actual stuff. Holiday hero, that's a great line. And you can be one when you use Instacart, because with Instacart, you can get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. You don't have to go to the grocery store, compete with everybody else who's there. It's always so busy during like the holiday times and stuff, and that place is a madhouse anyway. So just avoid all that. Make things a little easier on yourself and use Instacart today. The best part is right now, 2 in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do is hit the link in this episode description and get that deal. Be the holiday hero you were always meant to be. Use Instacart. And if you're looking for a great way to support this show and maybe finish off that Christmas list, okay, with time to spare, you can check out all the great merch we've got at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Things like hoodies, long sleeve shirts, mugs, those cool metal water bottles, slides, and of course the Tri-Blend t-shirts. That's Target quality material. Folks, I love them so much. We've got all kinds of awesome merch. Even more than I just mentioned, not just for this show, but for Schemin' and Dreamin' and for Quested as well, the 2 other podcasts that we produce right here. Check out all of those great deals and all that great merch again at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. All you have to do is hit the link in this episode description or check the link out in our Instagram bio and go get yourself something nice, something that's going to make you look good and feel good, and it's a great way to support the show. And if you're interested in advertising on this show or our twin show, Schemin' and Dreamin', or Quested, the Dungeons & Dragons podcast that we produce right here, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands, tens of thousands, listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. Because podcasting, I was just listening to a podcast. It was an iHeartRadio podcast, and they had a goddamn McDonald's ad. And it's so crazy. It's cool to see big companies move away from traditional media into like the podcasting space and stuff, but oh my god, it also fucking sucks. I also don't like it a lot, especially because it doesn't leave any room for smaller local companies to get in on the action. There was never a place for that before, but that's why we're here. So if you want to learn more about all the benefits of podcast advertising, again, you can reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com. Oh my god, I was getting... This is a hot start, and I know I don't want to talk about this, but I was getting a little reckless today. I was getting myself fuming, and I had to step away from my laptop for a little bit.
What was going on?
Well, because I wanted to read about the Twitter files or whatever. That's been like going down.
Not familiar.
I think it was on the 2nd. It was like 5 days ago.
Okay.
Whatever day that was, and the journalist Matt Taibbi, I think I said his name. You know him?
Tibbsy, yeah.
Yeah, Tibby, which I remember reading his Rolling Stone articles when I was a kid, but he's like a pretty prominent journalist. Like
He's
he
a
gets
good
referenced
investigative journalist.
That's what, yeah. And
he has the tough
so
questions.
Elon Musk was like, hey man, I've got, now that he like owns Twitter, he's like, I've got access to all these, old emails and stuff that show some pretty interesting things. Do you want them? And you can like post them on your Twitter. And Matt Taibbi was like, yeah, absolutely. So he posted this whole thread and posted screenshots of like all these emails. And essentially what it was is it's just proven what we already know, is that both political parties at different times paid Twitter to suppress information about like different stuff. So I wanted to like, see what the deal was. And really it was just like, I mean, the amount of money that they spent was actually like a lot. Like, it was almost $1 million, I think.
Oh, that doesn't even
1
seem
year.
like much.
You know what? You're right, but it's still it's a lot. I know, but what was getting me mad was like I fell in a hole. I was reading some of the replies to it, and I was like, oh fuck. Like,
yeah.
I started feeling myself getting hot headed, and I was like, I gotta walk away from this.
I do love reading Twitter replies. It's one of my favorite things to do.
This was driving me crazy.
Sorry for the yawn. Because I'll be the first person to say that Twitter should not be a place to go get serious opinionated information, because you should look at real information and make opinions based on that information yourself. But it is pure comedy to see some people's opinions.
You know what? It's like anything else in that way, you know? Like, you just, like, stop taking yourself so seriously, you know what I mean? But I just can't imagine, especially because I'm not on Twitter, so I really only see it when it's, like, referenced in articles and stuff. But if somebody posts, like, a long thread or even just one tweet that's, like, super angry, I'm like, you're just sitting alone on your couch, like, fucking thumbing at your phone like that?
Yeah. People do it to me all the time.
That's so sad.
People do it to me all the time.
Like, you're so dumb. Like, that's so sad. Like, that's so stupid. Like, go
in
throw
what
a brick
context?
through
What
a
is the
window.
tweet about?
I don't know. Just like whatever.
Go
just
throw
like,
a brick through a window. Now you're inciting a riot. Arrest.
All right,
I disavow
you got me.
Andrew's comments.
I
don't
would
take
like
me
to
down
make
with
an
you.
apologies. Oh God, Matt Taibbi already made a Twitter thread about me. Fuck. Shit. Well, I guess I'm canceled. I'm taking a leave of absence from the podcast.
We're taking
Who would you get to replace me if I had to take a leave of absence?
Fred Durst.
Ready?
Fred Durst. And I'd say, can you sing that jumper song one more time for me? And he'd say, wish you would step off from that ledge, my friend.
That old Fred Durst
We
classic.
would cut ties with all the wise. That song is a little bit misleading. I don't know what the actual lyrics are, but
You can look them up.
it does, like, to me in my head when it gets sang. It's, I wish you would step off from that ledge, my friend. Like, which I think is what it is, meaning like, hey, come inside off the ledge, bud.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It sounds
it
like
kind of sounds like
go
he's
the other
going
way.
the other guy's style. A lot of people down here are saying, you don't have the balls. Oh, look, he's flying.
You know what?
Not funny.
No, that's funny, but it's kind of, you're kind of right though, because like we could cut ties to all the lies.
That
like,
you've
what's
been
the
living in,
what's the quickest way to do that? Is just
And
I mean,
if you never want to see me again or something like that,
right? I would
Yeah.
understand. That's not like just let me save you and then soon it's
Fred-
like no,
Fred
go.
Durst is
Like,
pretty much saying, get your ass off that ledge, bud.
not a Fred Durst song, but he is.
Could
But
be.
he is saying that. Yeah, that's
Fred Durst
that's,
ghost rit jumper.
that's how he made his bones. Fred Durst, he's like writing all this ghost writing songs for other people. James Patterson. I think Fred Durst actually wrote a couple James Patterson
books.
James Patterson novels.
And he
The
wrote that song
Alex
by the Black
Cross.
Eyed Peas that you were telling me about earlier.
But I was telling you about that. You
Yeah.
just started singing it. I wonder. I bet you I know all the words to that song because there's like 6 of them. Spending all your money.
No, that was a
on
different
best
song
friend.
I was singing.
No, my humps.
Yeah.
It's the same
No.
song.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very diverse song. I can't think of any fucking words. It's got a lot of angles.
Pretty much
that
all
song.
of them.
Black Eyed Peas, #1 leader in lyrics that mean absolutely nothing.
What do you mean?
I got that boom boom pow. Them chickens
jacking my style. You don't want
Doesn't mean-
chickens jacking your style? What do you mean? They try to copy my swagger.
The Black Eyed Peas.
I think I'm on that
sucks.
neck shit now.
They suck
I gotta look at
so
the lyrics of
bad.
that song.
They are probably the worst music group in history.
I could not disagree with you more.
Jesus Christ.
This
Gotta get that.
gotta get that.
Like, I can't believe that this song was on the
You got that
radio
hit to beat the block.
like 15,000 times a day.
I got that rock and roll, that future flow. This is a banger. How do these lyrics not make sense?
I'm on that supersonic boom. Y'all hear that spaceship zoom?
Yeah. Because my boy's on that supersonic boom. He's on a come up.
You can't just repeat the lyrics in explaining them. Like, when you said you're on
when I step inside the room,
Will.i.am.
Them girls go ape shit.
When you said you were on that supersonic boom, hear that spaceship zoom, what did you mean exactly? I'm just on that supersonic boom.
Like, this is... Y'all stuck on Super 8 shit, that lo-fi stupid 8-bit. I'm on that HD flat, that beat go boom, boom, bat. What? That is all time, Andrew.
This is the stupidest shit
Put
I've ever
that shit
heard.
on my gravestone.
You know what? You're so you're so 2000 and late is a top-notch epitaph. I would like that.
And then it speeds up. I'm a beast when you turn me on into the future Cybertron. Harder, faster, better, stronger, sexy ladies, extra longer. Banger.
Sexy ladies extra longer. Yo, these sexy ladies are not long enough. Get me some longer sexy ladies. Fucking Taboo is throwing a tantrum in the corner.
Why'd you go like Zoolander / Arnold Schwarzenegger style?
To prove a point, Matthew.
These ladies are not sexy enough.
It doesn't
Not
say
enough
sexy ladies. It says sexy ladies extra longer. These are not the sexy ladies I ordered. Send them back to Bezos.
I don't think he's talking about the ladies going extra long. I think he's saying he's going extra long because of the sexy ladies.
No, extra longer.
It would make more. I agree. It
To,
would make more sense if you said sexy ladies extra shorter.
No, that would make the same amount of sense. What I'm saying to you right now is that the extra longer in that statement applies to the sexy ladies. They are the subject, and extra ladies is the adjective describing that subject.
I wish this song had more verses.
Here we go.
Satellite radio, y'all getting hit with the boom, boom. Beat so big, I'm stepping on leprechauns, shitting on y'all with the boom, boom.
That sounds like a pretty long sexy lady stepping on leprechauns. Jesus Christ.
No, they're not talking about ladies anymore. They're talking about how big the beat is. Beat so big, I'm stepping on leprechauns.
Which is also not that impressive because leprechauns are notoriously short. So,
well, that depends on who you ask.
Take that. Right, Artemis Fowl, they're like 3 feet tall. Certain myths, they're like that big, like 4 inches, which some say is the perfect size. Dick joke. I'll see myself out. Jesus fucking Christ, we're better than this. No,
that might be extra long.
Oh God.
So I actually have something to say, and I wish it had more to do with the Black Eyed Peas.
Ladies extra long. Go ahead.
These ladies are not long enough. Take them back. I would like to order some sexy ladies, extra longer.
Long.
If they're not extra longer, send them back.
These ladies are pretty sexy. Do you have them in extra long? What were you saying?
I want to talk about Quested.
The Quested podcast that we
produced
produced right here?
podcast that we produced right here. They use these very mics.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw myself under the bus a little bit.
Okay.
When the first episode of Quested that we produced came out, and the second episode I listened to it, I was like, this is awesome. And then I completely fell off the map with it. Like, didn't, whatever. And then I came across an Instagram clip the other day of where they're at now. Mm-hmm. And then I got in a rabbit hole. I watched like the last 30 of their Instagram clips. And then I thought to myself, like, why don't I just listen to it? So then I did, and what an unbelievable show. Not to toot our own horn.
No, but I will absolutely give those guys their flowers. They're so fucking funny. They make me laugh so goddamn hard. Did you see their clip today? Because their new episode came out today. Dude.
Should we pull it up?
Yeah,
Can I pull it up on the interweb?
Yeah, we could just play it. Cause
how do I play it? Is it on YouTube?
No, it's on Instagram.
Instagram? Can I get on Instagram on the interweb?
Yeah.
we're gonna have to spell that right.
You actually might have to go on Safari to get on, but they, yeah, it's the best. It's the best show. Like I think Nate English is genuinely one of the funniest people I've ever met, and then you've got fucking David, who was the one I knew the least, and that guy says some of the funniest shit I've ever heard.
This clip right here.
Yeah. Let's see if it'll play through the TV. I don't think they'll be able to hear it through the mics.
Oh, it's muted. Oh, wait. How do I restart?
Yeah, click off and then click on it.
Morello's just standing there like menacingly with his hood back up, his eyes yellow and burning.
Oh, I thought you said yellow and yearning.
They said yellow with
Burning
urine.
with passion. Yellow with urine. His piss-colored
This
eyes.
dude is just made of piss in his veins.
That seems like something that boomer character would say. I got piss in my veins, boy. You don't want to fuck with me.
I got piss in my veins, lib. The libs can't make me piss.
You can never make me piss my pants. Don't even fucking try.
You'll never make me piss, Joe Biden. It has like fucking a urinary tract infection. Yes.
Graveyard of kidney stones in there.
Kidney stone graveyard.
Fuck a kidney stone. That's a tombstone.
That's a genius line. I don't know
You
that.
better use that in a song.
I know. Put that in.
You have to
that
put
in
that
a
in a
tune, dude.
song.
Put that on Bizarro Deluxe Edition, baby.
Fuck a kidney stone. That's a grave. That's a tombstone.
That is such a good line. Yeah, that I don't know if that probably didn't go through the mics, so that might have just been like 30
Fuck
seconds
a kidney
of silence.
stone.
But
That's a tombstone.
but quested.
Sexy ladies extra long. There you go, Nate. That's a verse right there. That's an entire verse.
It's such a good podcast, and like
yeah. And the one that kicked it off for me was, I wish I would have just kept it up. I mean, it would have been us just watching them, but it was like
it's funny because they actually one time we recorded it, but it didn't actually make it into the episode. They joked about how their podcast was just going to become a Two in the Cooler recap podcast. And now we're a quested recap podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
unbelievable though.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Like when they do the voices, it gets me every single time.
Mikey is so good
Dude,
at voices.
It was the one where they knock on the door and like the butler/maid answers.
Oh my god!
And he's like,
yeah, dude. That clip also is so funny.
Hysterical. That whole sequence.
And God, Will is so like they're all so good at like doing that show. Like they're so
he rolls and he's like. A memory of me hitting so and so over the head with a wine bottle or with a glass vase appears. Yeah.
And it's like, oh yes, I think I recall. Like they're so good at story and improvising. Like they're the perfect guys to do that show. It's gonna be that current campaign is actually coming to an end soon. That current like storyline, they're gonna switch things up a little. It's gonna be cool.
The problem is that I would never do anything with this. But you want to know what you should do or somebody should do? I feel like you could do it. Have you ever written a quest, a journey?
I put one together kind of once, but it was just I wanted to make like a community one. Because obviously the famous Community Dungeons and Dragons episode.
Yeah.
And in that they play a quest called Caverns of Draconis, which is not real. So I like wrote it out and tried to like implement all the community characters, like the characters that they play and like everything into that story. So I wrote that, and like it wasn't great, but it was pretty fun.
You should do a National Treasure based one.
I bet you somebody has. That would be so cool.
Maybe Google it.
I mean, yeah, okay. If like you have to know like American history facts and stuff to actually do it, because I'm sure you could just do like an adventure game. You know what I mean? It would be kind of Indiana Jones-esque, which
D&D 5e National Treasure
plot. Has anyone ever run an adventure with a plot like the National Treasure movie, where one clue leads to another and another? I mean, there definitely is stuff like that, but as far as like,
I want to be.
You want Silence.
I want to be rolling the dice. Yeah, with Ben.
You want Silence Dogood to be prominently featured in that RPG.
If there's not at least a cipher per roll,
That's a lot of ciphers.
Buddy.
That's a big cipher budget.
I mean, the cipher budget has to be. It can only go up from here. We just talked about. Somebody reported. I don't know who it was. Could be falsely reported.
Matt Taibbi, I think.
But somebody reported that the cipher budget for the new National Treasure TV show was over $100 million.
It was upwards of $100 million.
They spent just
per
creating
cipher.
Just
per cipher.
I didn't hear per.
Oh yeah, it was per cipher. They spent more
That's
on
not.
ciphers.
That would hurt us. That would hurt.
No, they spent more on ciphers.
Yeah, but that means they're going to have less ciphers
than the
in show.
Amazon Lord of the Rings show did per episode.
I mean, yeah, that's easy. I could do that in a day.
Man, do you think it would be? I feel like there's some movie where this or something where this is the plot of some story where I feel like this is a concept I've heard before. Somebody is like, I'll give you like $50 million if you can spend $50 million in 24 hours or something like that.
That's so easy.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I'd buy an airplane.
Well, how much money do you think it would be hard to spend in a day? That's true. You buy an airplane, that pretty much does it. $1 billion? Probably be hard to spend in a day. I don't know. Because if you buy if you buy several sports teams, like that's some good stuff.
Yeah, but you can't
Plane.
just buy a sports team in a day. Because that's what I'm trying to think of.
Right.
Like, how many houses do you think you could buy in a day? And do you have to
what you'd have
close
to
on
do.
them, or do you just have to win
I think
the bid?
I think if you get it in escrow, then it
like
counts.
you just win the bid, and now it's pending sale.
Yeah. Then I think that counts.
You could probably do that.
Yeah, that would be the way. That would
You'd have to
actually
be,
be the
like,
way to
in-
do it.
You know, LA or something, and buy like every house on the market
Right, something like that. Just buy.
and a couple cars, maybe,
Right. Bugattis.
and a plane.
Yeah, definitely a plane's a good one. Harrier jet. Did I talk about the Pepsi thing on here already?
The Pepsi show.
Pepsi, where's my jet? Yeah.
No, but I want to talk about it because I kind of want to. I'm curious. I'm not gonna watch it because I don't have time, but I'm curious. Is it about airplanes?
I'll tell you. I'll give you.
Is
the
it
whole,
bad about airplanes?
I'll give you the whole lowdown right
'Cause I gotta
now.
be on an airplane tomorrow, and I don't like airplanes.
No, it's not bad.
Okay,
It's
you can tell
not
the story
bad
then.
about airplanes. So I haven't finished it. It's like fucking 4 parts, which is completely unnecessary. It's this Netflix documentary series called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? Dumb name as well. Sorry, I'm shitting on this. I actually do not like the way this documentary was done at all.
But you like it.
But it's just an interesting story, but I really don't like. They do like a lot of recreations or reenactments that are shitty. But
I like shitty reenactments.
you would be a shitty reenactment
That's why I love
guy. I
like
can
the
tell that
History
about
Channel.
you. History Channel is different. Like they do reenactments pretty well. This one I don't like the way they did this. But so the premise, what fucking happened was back in the 90s, I don't know if you've heard about like Marlboro points and stuff. Like this was
Like
kind
you
of a
get
big
points
thing.
for buying cigarettes.
Yeah, you buy like a pack of cigarettes and you get a couple points, and then eventually you acquire enough points and you send them in. You get like a leather jacket, basketball,
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm a Marlboro Platinum card holder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Pepsi did the same thing. They had these thing called Pepsi points. For every 12 pack of Pepsi you bought, you got 5 Pepsi points. You could send them in for like T-shirts or whatever. So to promote this, they made a commercial, and it's this guy, and he like puts on his Pepsi shirt, and then a little graphic says Pepsi T-shirt, 15 Pepsi points, whatever, and then it's like Pepsi jacket, 100 Pepsi points or whatever. And at the end of the commercial,
Pepsi airplane.
they do Pepsi Harrier jet, 7 million Pepsi points. Obviously is like a gag, like, but there's no legal disclaimer text or anything in the commercial. So this kid, who I think is like 20 or something at the time, maybe even pre-college, he's around college age, he sees that and he's like, I'm going to get a jet. Now, he was like a mountain climber, this kid, and somehow he was best friends with like this older, very rich man. And so he approached this guy and was like, if you give me the money to get these Pepsi points, I will get this jet, and that's what we're gonna make a business out of that. So originally the plan was to just straight up buy retail all of the like
Pepsi
just
required,
pallets
yeah.
and pallets of Pepsi cans and stuff, and buy a bunch of warehouses to store them in, and then pay a large staff to rip the labels off and to collect all these Pepsi points. And it was going to cost, millions of dollars. And, you could make it back or whatever potentially, but it was just insane, and logistically it was going to be absolutely crazy. So this dude is all disheveled. He's like, man, I'm not going to get my jet. He sees a display for the Pepsi points at his local convenience store, and he goes up, and they've got like a booklet that's got all of the things you can get, I said, t-shirt, basketball, whatever. At the end of the catalog, there's a little thing that says, if you send in 15 Pepsi points, you can then buy additional Pepsi points for 10 cents each. So he was like, holy shit, all I need to get my 7 million Pepsi points in order to get a Harrier jet worth $34 million is $700,000. So he calls his buddy, and the guy's like, okay, let's do it. They send Pepsi the check, and Pepsi, because they talk to Pepsi people in the documentary, they're like, they start freaking out. They're like, how the fuck do we handle this? Like, are we actually on the hook? What's the deal? So this is what they decide to do, Matthew. They decide to send back a letter to this guy, go, ha ha, very funny. Here's 2 coupons for 2 free cases of Pepsi. And the guy
Did they get the check back?
I think they did send the check back. I can't remember. But he's like, that's hilarious. Here's things. And this dude is like, oh, it's not going down like that, Pepsi.
No.
It's not going down like that.
In my fucking airplane.
So they get a lawyer, and they talk about going into the law office and playing them the commercial, and the lawyer being like, rewind that. And like, no disclaimer or whatever. So then here's what Pepsi did though. They went back and re-edited the commercial so that now when it says Harrier jet 7 million Pepsi points, underneath it says in parentheses, just kidding, which obviously admits fault. So where I left off in the documentary, the episode ended with all of the jet guys being like, we knew we had to bring somebody in who could take on a big corporation like Pepsi. We knew we had to bring in a dead ringer. And it's the fucking guy who
Rob Kardashian.
oh my god, incredible. No. It's the guy who represented Stormy Daniels in her Trump lawsuit. It turns out. And this was back in the 90s or whatever. This was before that. Now that dude's disbarred, and I think he's in prison currently.
Might be.
But so I don't actually know if the guy got the jet or not yet. I don't know what happened.
I won't look it up, but I really want to know. There's no way he got the jet.
How could he not get the
I
jet?
don't know, but I know that he didn't.
How could so they initially offered him a settlement they only offered him $1 million. And like I said, that jet at the time was worth $34 million. Who is homeless guy?
Wait, don't look at this.
Okay. But how could you not get the jet though? Like it's hey Pepsi, you're on the hook. Sorry, pal, but it's a legitimate offer because there's everything else in that commercial was legitimate. So why would this not be? And there's no disclaimer. So I think in any court of law that would stand up. But I don't know. We got to watch the rest of the documentary. I'm sure there's people that have seen it that are like, you don't even know what's going to happen.
Have you ever heard of this?
Searching for
Sugar Man?
I think I have actually.
So I have not watched it ever. But I just found out about it the other day, and it is the most fascinating story in all of the land. This guy, Sixto Rodriguez is his name.
That's a good name.
Lived somewhere in the U.S. I don't know where.
Detroit.
And he, made music.
Yeah.
I think, pop, rap-ish style music. And he never made it big in the U.S. So, he ends up being. Stop reading.
Oh, sorry.
Get
Get it from you.
So he ends
Instead of
up
Wikipedia?
being homeless because he's got nothing going for him, and he's homeless for years and years, and falls off the face of the earth pretty much. Nobody knows who he is or where he is, and it turns out. In South Africa, his music is was like insanely popular, like sold more records than Elvis.
Wow.
And he had no idea. He was just homeless in Detroit somewhere, and nobody knew where he was. And like everybody was like, we don't know where this guy is, but it was like a cultural phenomenon. Like every single person in South Africa like loved this guy, Sixto Rodriguez. And he had no money because he was just homeless in Detroit. And eventually somebody like sleuthed him down. Like, where is this guy? I don't really know how it happened. I'm sure you'd have to watch the documentary to figure it out. But isn't that nuts?
That is wild.
And like, in my opinion, I'm like, well, somebody made this music for him. Like, somebody had to have been buying it. Like, somebody had to have known, no?
Right. Somebody must have been seeing the proceeds from all
Yeah.
those
Like,
record sales
somebody
in
was
South
making,
Africa.
like, somebody was, if that many people were buying it, somebody was making the records.
Right. And I get maybe if you're like a greedy record executive, you don't want to like give this guy his money, but you'd think at least like, hey, you're really popular in here. And also like maybe we can capitalize on this with a tour or whatever. Like, it's not America, but like we've got the #1 star in the world in South Africa. Like, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Let's see.
It reminds me of like the Van Gogh thing. See, it's because of like the internet and technology that this guy was able to learn about his success while he was alive, right?
Well, people thought he was dead.
Yeah, but of course he wasn't.
No.
Okay, 500,000. Sold out
maybe not
Elvis
more.
and the Rolling Stones in New Zealand and Australia as well. 2 key markets. Mystery.
Oh, and then eventually, it looks like eventually he won a battle for his royalty
Oh, wow.
payouts. So I guess that's probably what the movie's about.
Yeah. Nice.
Decades working as a builder and had no idea he was famous until tracked down by a couple of obsessed fans from South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he looks like he rocks. Like, look at him.
Oh yeah. Like that picture up top, like
One of the fans that tracked him down. The pair of friends now. Oh, yeah, they'd be fucking friends. If somebody liked your music so much that he decided to find you in the streets.
imagine, whoever delivers the news to you that you are like incredibly famous and should be worth millions of dollars, you're going to be a little endeared to that person for a while. Oh, he was real shy.
He faded into obscurity and went back to work in construction industry
No
in his
way.
hometown Detroit.
That's
Rodrigo
crazy.
later says that of his decision to quit, I would have loved to continue, but nothing beats reality.
Holy shit.
So I went back to work.
He walked away from it all.
A number of his songs were banned by the apartheid government as they became a soundtrack to the revolution that eventually led to the fall of the regime. This dude he liberated an entire country.
And he's kind of like a superhero. He's definitely like a civil rights figure for sure. Because, I mean, he just like
So he
walked
didn't,
away
just
from
to
it
clarify
all. Yeah.
my earlier statement, he didn't outsell Elvis's records
Right,
here.
just in those countries.
In those countries.
Just in
Elvis
those
and the
countries.
Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Yet he remained a mystery lurking behind sunglasses. Fans could find out little about him. They didn't know who he was. Who told him Rodrigo was still alive. Sorry, this is horrible podcasting. One day at 2 a.m. the phone rang, and I knew it was him because of his voice. It's impossible to describe how I felt. Can you imagine Elvis calling and saying, "This is Elvis"? How would you feel? No, I couldn't because he's dead.
I would feel scared because ghosts are real. If I got a phone call from Elvis saying this is Elvis, I would be terrified because of his famous death.
I'm so curious. I just want to. I guess I'll have to watch.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
gotta
just
just
want to
watch
know,
this
like
movie.
I want to know, like, you're sitting there one day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, you know who we should ask?
You're hammering. You're hammering.
We
away.
should ask Brookhaven. We should be like, "What's it feel like
right? Because
to randomly find
dude,
out
that's exactly what I
that
thought.
in Finland
That the Finns love
you're
you.
just smashing it?"
Which like Finland, like it makes sense that they would love the Brookhaven music,
They
and
bump in
that's
Finland.
why we want to use our platform.
Not only do they like Brookhaven, but they like extra long. Sexy
Yeah,
ladies.
you go to Finland, those sexy ladies are definitely extra long.
as
over
long
there.
as they can. 7-8 feet tall, those sexy ladies. Giants.
extra longer, sexy
Yeah.
ladies, extra longer.
Yep. What are you gonna do with all that junk inside of that trunk?
Oh man, I saw this thing today about this girl, Olivia Dune. You know her?
Oh.
She's a collegiate gymnast, and
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
people-
TikTok girl.
yeah, and people are saying
That's her name.
Yeah,
Dunvey.
Dunn.
Is that what they?
Olivia
I know,
Dunn.
but I feel like that's like a thing.
I don't know, Crocodile Dunvey. But the like troll on her is people are saying that she's not real and that she's completely computer generated.
She's a fake human.
She's a fake human and she was made by AI. And that's just such a funny thing to say to somebody
That's awesome.
that you can like see.
Yeah,
It's not, that's
exists
hilarious.
in real life. Yeah. What is that thing called? Did you see that new AI thing that came out?
What, all the AI art?
No, that crossed the line in my opinion.
Oh, you don't like it?
It's not that I don't think it's cool, but people are paying like real money for that stuff.
I mean, it's the
Where
way it's
is
been
this?
with like every new thing since the pandemic. Honestly, has skyrocketed into that stuff because pandemic really changed the digital economy into trying to get, which I think it eventually was always going to become this, but the digital economy is now trying to make as much money as possible as quickly as possible no matter what. Because if you look at like the history of Bitcoin and like the blockchain and stuff, like that's been on the build for several years, right? And now with different cryptocurrencies, people are like, you know, buy it, sell it all, whatever. But that guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, is a perfect example, right? Like he was literally just staying awake 24 hours a day, going absolutely fucking insane to try and make as much money as possible to strike this market while it was as hot as it could be. And that's what the deal with NFTs has done. And it's just like markets are going to be, it's almost the same way as news stories, right? Like something hits the news and then all of a sudden it's out of the news. Nobody cares. Like a news cycle is so quick. It's going to be that same thing with anything economically. I know. But I'm just, let me finish this rant. I know I was just stalling for time, but markets, digital markets are going to be like within a 24-hour period, people are going to make fortunes beyond their wildest dreams. And then by sundown, that market is going to be completely over and done with. And nobody else is going to get anything on it. What did you just look up?
You saying that reminded me of a very specific TV character.
Oh, no.
Somebody you might not remember, but I wish you did.
Okay.
Vincent Adler.
That does sound so familiar. When you show me, I'm sure I'll remember.
Vincent Adler is who turns Neil Caffrey into Neil Caffrey. So, yeah. So, Mozzie sets up Neil like, hey, we got this con.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's on this dude, Vincent Adler. And that's how, like, but then it's a long con, so Neil becomes Neil because it turns out Vincent Adler was a con man and one day disappears with, like, hundreds of millions of people's dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Neil gets in the first place, is talking to him about markets. He, like, says all this stuff about markets. And he's like,
Dude.
I'll give you 2 minutes. Yeah. He gives him 2 minutes.
I love that shit in movies. Like, I like the cut of this kid's jib.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you got? Like, hire him. Like, that's that's so fucking
And that's
crazy.
it ends up being how, I mean, this is way too much information for anybody, but it ends up being how Neil Caffrey originally gets caught by Peter Burke, because in order to get into this event that Vincent Adler's hosting, $500 a plate,
Mm-hmm.
Neil has to sell one of his forged bonds, even though he just sold 2 of them, and he knew that there were some FBI rumblings. So but he had to sell one to get the $5,000 to get the plate at his dinner, and then Neil swaps his name card from his table with the name card that's next to Vincent Adler, which turns out to be very obvious because the name card that he swaps is Vincent Adler's date for the event. And so he says, "You got 2 minutes before I'm sitting next to somebody that looks a lot better in a sundress." Something along those lines.
What a line.
A cocktail dress, sorry. something along those lines. And also, Kate Monroe is Vince Adler's assistant. So that's how Neil
Is that
meets
the
Kate.
girl that, okay, that's the one that he dates, right? And then
that
she,
dies
like,
because the plane blows up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or does she?
Chill.
Tune in to find out. USA, characters welcome. Yeah.
You can watch it on Amazon Prime with freebies. It's a new service where you can watch anything for free with ads.
I finished
not anything.
rewatching Psych, by the way. Now we finally come to USA Network Corner part of the podcast. We can't fucking escape
We got
these
problems.
shows.
We could.
I like talking about this stuff.
We could flip the script right away.
And I'll tell you what, like, it's not like we haven't gotten some people like reaching out to us when we talk about this
These
stuff.
are great shows.
I know, but I'm like,
This is the peak of television.
but just in my head, I'm like, there's no way anybody wants to hear about this. And then it seems like some of them
Nobody
kind
does.
of do.
But we could flip the script and talk about another new TV show that's not out yet.
Oh boy, the National Treasure
The
TV
National
show.
Treasure TV show.
Oh, good lord, good
What are
lord.
your thoughts? We just watched the trailer. What are your thoughts?
I'll tell you. I'll say exactly what I told you because I had not seen the trailer. I didn't realize the show was coming out next week, which that'll be something to talk about. We'll have to maybe try and watch it.
Yeah, it'll be one of those stupid things where it comes out one episode at a time.
Yeah, it will. But they might do because it's on Disney Plus, and that is how they do it. They do 1 week at a time, but they've been doing 2-episode premieres, so they'll probably do that.
I'd pay $100,000 to have all those episodes released instantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be that good? Like it's going to be worth it?
No,
You just
it
want to see
might not be, but I'm gonna need to watch it. Like, I will admit, I haven't watched the 3rd episode of that show. What's that show that I watch now?
I don't know. Rainbow Room?
No, you're talking about Rainbow Siege. That's gonna
Yeah.
be the next movie in the Tom Clancy cinematic universe.
Yeah, Rainbow Room. It's all on
Yeah.
roller skates.
No, shut the fuck up. With Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, The Samaritan, right?
No,
Oh, that was the movie he put out. Oh, Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King. Tulsa King. You are the Tulsa King. I wish you would head down to Tulsa, my friend, and you could become a kingpin and kill all of my friends. And if you really wanted to see me again, you would go to Witsack. Witness protection. That was bad. That was not as good as my one.
That was
earlier.
not terrible, though. It wasn't terrible.
But think about how good my Tim Duncan was earlier.
Tim Duncan,
What's
the
his name?
basketball player. Oh, Fred
Fred
Durst.
Durst. Yeah.
Famous basketball legend.
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs legend Fred Durst.
Yeah. Dude, I mean,
One of the
Tim
greatest
Duncan
power
played
forwards of
systematic
all time.
basketball, man. That's why the Spurs were so good at the time. Anyway, I haven't watched the 3rd episode of Tulsa King yet.
Okay.
I need to get to it. Maybe Sabres probably can't do it.
Yep, that's the way it goes.
We would cut ties with all the law. Should we do Hooper of the Week?
Yeah, let's do
Or
it.
we never talk. Do we want to talk about National Treasure? We
Oh,
don't have
I'll
to.
say
Yeah.
this. I'll say what I said when we just watched the trailer for the National Treasure show. I am glad to see that ciphers seem to be getting a lot of screen time because the cornerstone of that franchise is ciphers. It's history,
Yeah.
but it's mostly ciphers.
I hope they don't. I hope there's. My number one hope for I have 2 hopes, and they kind of tie together. I hope that there is still a large history element, a U.S. history element,
Yeah.
and I hope that it's not like a stupid history element.
What do you mean?
Like, I hope that it doesn't get too new. Like, I want it to be old and ancient,
Right.
and I want it to tie back into our founding fathers.
Yeah.
Because that's cool. Because you're like, that could be real.
Right, exactly. Because records at that time are spotty at best.
Yeah, barely.
Barely.
Who knows how many extra long women they had back then?
I don't think they had a lot of
Probably why they
extra-
weren't living very long.
I don't think they had a lot of extra longies
No.
back then. At least not in the U.S. of A. Not in the colonies. Not in the
No.
colonies.
Mm-mm.
You got to go across the sea.
5'4" and below, baby.
Yeah, that was
They were struggling.
just a bunch of real tiny revolutionaries going at the redcoats. Redcoats are stepping on them like
Yeah.
leprechauns,
Yeah.
baby.
Beat so big, man.
They're so
Um,
big, stepping on.
So that's what I hope. Because I think it has potential to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit corny.
Yeah, for sure.
But it looks a little more... It looks a little more pre-2008 Disney Channel-y than post-2010 Disney Channel-y. Because there was a little bit of a
Interesting.
gap.
Interesting.
Like, more like early... Well, not this... But more like iCarly than like
Shake It Up.
Charlie. What's the Charlie show?
Good luck,
Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah, Charlie
Yeah.
bit my finger.
Yeah. Good luck, Charlie sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Dog with a blog. Dog with a blog.
Unfamiliar.
You never seen Dog with a blog? So we make fun of Jake. We say that in his voice all the time. Dog with a blog.
I don't understand.
That's okay. It was a show on Disney Channel. It's called Dog with a blog.
Dog with a blog.
And it was about a dog with a blog. I assume I never
Little
watched
D
it.
with a B.
D with a B. But while we're on the subject of like this kind of thing, did you see the trailer for the new Indiana Jones movie?
No.
It came out.
Didn't even know.
It came out, I think, over the
Is
weekend.
Fordsy still kicking?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I read that they're de-aging him like throughout the movie. Emily says that it might only be for like a flashback, and so I might be misinformed. I honestly don't know what the truth is, but I don't want to see this. We all know how I feel about that not real Indiana Jones
this
movie.
is the most recent one since then, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I
This
did
will be
know that it
4.
was in the works. I did know that.
It's fucking pressed and filmed and ready to go.
He went from like, I feel like when people watch that movie, or like the old movies, like when it came out, they all wanted to like bang their professors, and
Sure.
now it's like,
They want to bang their grandpas.
yeah, no, they don't. No, they've gone celibate.
They're banging
They've gone-
somebody.
they've
They're
gone
no,
celibate.
somebody's getting banged.
not unless they're extra longer.
Indiana only likes his ladies
Yeah.
extra longer.
Only extra longer for Indiana, please and thank you. Let's do Who Win of the Week.
Okay, this is the Who Would Win of the Week. This week is Dr. Seuss's The Lorax versus Honey Boo Boo. You know, TLC fame, big reality star. She really hit the iron like when it was hot, like for reality shows. That was when I feel like she honestly came up around the same time as the Kardashians. It was kind of this wave of reality TV. Can you look that up? Like when the Honey Boo Boo show started?
She got famous from
Toddlers
Toddlers
and
and Tiaras
Tiaras.
in 2011, 12.
What? No.
Yeah, 2012.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I thought it was
Wow.
earlier than that.
Did Honey Boo Boo get famous? I feel like people make fun of me. We all know I can't type. Yeah, 2012
Wow.
is when she was on Toddlers and Tiara.
Wow.
And then when was the Honey Boo Boo show on? Because didn't she have her own show?
Yeah, what the hell was it called? It might have just been called Honey Boo Boo, but I think it had like The World According to Honey Boo Boo or something. Honey Boo Boo's life.
Wait. Here Comes Honey Boo Boo.
Here comes Honey
The
Boo
show
Boo.
premiered in August 8th of 2012.
Wow.
It was only did 2 seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
They made the most of those 2 seasons, man. They really went like it felt like a lot longer. When did Keeping Up with the Kardashians start? Can you Google that? I'm just interested when those timelines line up.
I don't know, because I personally don't think... Never mind. I was going to do... Not going to do what I was about to do.
Okay, good call.
I might later. If I can
Jesus
actually
Christ. Okay. If you need to be alone with the laptop for a while.
2007.
Okay, all right. So quite a bit later. Go ahead. If you're
No,
gonna be
no, no, we're
distracted
good.
by
No,
your
no,
thought,
no,
you gotta
no,
just
no.
say it, dude.
No, it's a long play. It's a long play. I hope Emily
you're
can't see what
you're
I'm doing.
a hell of a job.
No, that was me boxing out the computer.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Watch
you're
out,
doing
watch
something
out,
weird.
watch out.
You're doing something
Watch
weird.
out, watch
It got
out.
sexual. It got sexual.
No, it
You're
didn't.
not
No, it
even
didn't.
remotely extra long enough to be doing any of that.
So Honey Boo Boo versus the Lorax. I'll tell you what. The Lorax is like a pretty smart guy. I mean, he speaks for the trees. For the trees
have no tongues.
But he gets frustrated so easily. Like the Lorax, for being I guess a spirit of nature, is quick to anger. Like he gets so flustered like that. Like he barely tries saying to the oncer like, "Hey, what's the deal?" He's pretty much just like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop! The bears can't bear anymore because you poisoned the water or whatever."
Well, that's yeah.
But he gets so angry, and Honey Boo Boo. Look, maybe she's a fucking doctor now. I don't know, but I
have
feel,
to assume not.
Honestly, I feel comfortable saying that she's dumb. I feel comfortable saying Honey Boo Boo's dumb. So I don't think she's like she's so dumb that I think it would frustrate the Lorax to the point where he would just lose his fucking mind and like not be able to fight at all.
I agree. I can't stop thinking about this.
Yeah, go ahead and
No,
just
it's not.
speak
It's
your
not.
mind.
It's not
Speak
good.
your mind, child.
Because I either have to ruin the long play, or I have to execute it, and I just don't have confidence in myself executing it. So it's all the time.
Just do it, Matthew.
No,
we
I won't
have
do it.
we have a show to continue. We have a who would win to
I
do.
know.
I need you focused
All
and
right.
ready.
I fucking hate Honey Boo Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as a maybe not as a person if I met her.
Yeah,
but
we don't know.
I only know her in GIF form. Like that's all I can picture her as.
Mhm.
It's like being like a little like
Yeah.
chubby like 6-year-old like rubbing her belly.
It's
like,
an Olivia Doone
chocolate
situation.
all over her
She's
face.
completely AI generated.
Yeah.
Honey Boo Boo is computer
like
generalized.
it is. If she is a TV character, like obviously she was but she is a TV character, not like a reality TV
Yeah.
personality. Like she is a TV character. Like you could not have scripted something better to explain like who her and her mom were. Like you
That
couldn't
whole
write
family.
that show.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was more of them.
Oh
They
yeah.
had a dad.
There's a whole garage filled, dude.
Really?
Yep.
A whole trailer full?
They had a house, but they like the one uncle or something would go
Offense.
like they would eat roadkill.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's
Must have been eating a lot of roadkill.
It's correct. It's truly like there was a clip I saw once from The Soup where her uncle or whatever was like driving around in his pickup truck, dead raccoon, picked it up, brought it back to the garage, and everybody was like, "Yes, raccoon stew." And then they cut to Honey Boo Boo like, "That raccoon's in my
See,
belly."
that's like how I imagine. That's all I can picture.
Yeah,
is
that's
like her
Honey Boo
doing
Boo.
that.
That's Honey Boo Boo.
I don't like anything about that.
But I think she's got that kind of like white trash strength. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel like she could kick my ass.
Yeah, I also don't I feel like she's probably got some kind of condition where like she's just too dumb to feel pain.
Yeah.
So like even if the
she's
war,
definitely
yeah.
accidentally shot herself and been like, "Oh, I got this here
Potentially.
bullet." Maybe not
Right.
shot because she was a child at the time, but yeah, like something like that. Like
Sure.
yeah,
Like if the
she ran herself over with a car somehow, and just was
Right,
like
right,
"No,
right.
Yeah, I'm sore from that one.
Yeah, that's right. Just give me some possum. Rub some possum on it.
Rub some possum.
Rub
on
some
it.
possum on it. You know what I
I
say.
don't know as much about the Lorax as I was.
all you need
my
to know
goodness,
is he's
as
an
I would like
absolute
to. I've
legend.
never watched the movie. The only thing I know about him really is that he is a legend and that he speaks for the trees.
Well,
And-
see, the thing is, the trees have no tongue.
his little telephone. You know the things in playgrounds that you
Yeah.
talk through.
Yeah, that's the I can't remember what they're called, but the ones that, like,
telephones.
puts them down. Yeah,
Like the can
the hearing
yeah.
things. Dude, the Lorax is probably my favorite Dr.
That's
Seuss book
all I can picture is that in Disney World, in
in Universal.
Universal Studios,
Yeah.
sorry, like in the Dr. Seuss
Yeah, that is awesome.
section. Yeah,
I do
and
love
there's
that section.
Not only is there a statue of the Lorax, but there's also like a giant
It's the house.
chia pet of the Lorax, like a Lorax made of bush.
A bush Lorax. The Lorax
Yeah.
is all bush though. It's a pretty easy guy to bush.
Like
'cause he's
it's a Lorax
he's
made out
halfway
of.
there.
It's like a shrub.
It's a topiary.
Carved.
That's
yeah.
what you call him. Yeah.
It's a topiary.
It's a topiary. It's a
Yeah.
taupe. Little Lorax taupe. But yes. So, anyways, Honey Boo Boo with everything that she's fucking got going on. I think even if the Lorax did get so angry that he started like fucking pelting her with mustache waps, she would not feel it. And I bet you she would grab that stash and fucking swing that little dude around. Dude, the fucking Honey Boo Boo's family would be stirring up a pot of Lorax
I
stew.
feel like the Lorax is wise, but I think you're right in the sense where he gets frustrated, and Honey Boo Boo is so dumb that she's like laughing, smile on his face, like, you know, lasso with the mustache,
Yeah.
and he's like pissed, but
little-
he's got kind of like short, he's mostly body.
Yeah,
so he's like flailing,
Yeah.
and trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
And,
no, Honey Boo Boo's got a little of that Lenny in her.
Yeah.
Honey Boo Boo's got a little of that. Honey Boo Boo wants to pet the rabbits.
Yeah, and she should not be allowed.
No.
No.
So, I mean, we could probably wrap it up right here.
Yeah, I will. First, I'll tell you what I was gonna do.
Okay.
I looked up a list of the most famous quotes from the Lorax, and my plan was to try to work as many of them into our conversation as possible.
Yeah. Awesome.
But don't ever sell the doc short on his ability to write, because these quotes were way too complicated for me to try to get out off the cuff in conversation and like not make it extremely obvious. Because that was what I was gonna try to use the I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees. For the trees have no tongue.
So I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, what is that thing you've made from my truffle of tough?
And I tried to get out. It's not about what it is. It's about what it become.
I think you could have worked that one in.
I
That's a
tried
good
to when you were
line.
talking about the Kardashians.
Oh, but you
That's when the stumble first started.
stumbled.
Because the other one I wanted was, again, in reference to that conversation, was unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.
It's not. It's not.
It's depressing.
That's why he left that little pile of stones with the word unless. He had all that time to chisel all caps unless into a stone, but not enough time to like actually talk to anybody in legislation or anything like that. That's the other thing about the Lorax is he kind of quits. Like all he does, the Lorax, and I said it.
A truffle of trees.
I love the Lorax, but the Lorax is kind of a Karen. Like if the Lorax had Instagram Live, he would have ripped that thing out on
If
the
he
one
was
store
alive,
like nobody's
if he was
business.
alive today, he would without a doubt be chained to a truffle of tree.
Do you think the Lorax
He does
would,
not like deforestation.
Yes, however, I don't think the Lorax would desecrate like fine art the way that some people are doing now.
No.
He wouldn't
Like
go
throw
that far.
blood. No.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think he's
that
a
stuff.
vegetarian. I think he probably enjoys a nice flank steak from time. I'm sure he's probably eating a raccoon
I don't know.
or the raccoon version of
Right,
Dr.
whatever the
Seuss's
Dr.
raccoon.
Seuss,
which is probably a lot. Yeah.
a
Or
rim tuna tro.
Yeah.
A rim tuna tro, I think, is what
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, sure. A rim tuna tro. So we
Rim
can
tuna
lock
tro.
that in. Honey Boo Boo over the Lorax.
Yeah, what a
ridiculous
battle.
Vote on that on
Two
Instagram on
Titans.
Friday. Who would win of the week?
Two Titans clash. I was going to ask you, actually, because I was thinking about, because we've never done a Dr. Seuss character in the Who Would Win. And Lorax, I love that book so much. Do you think you could, how hard would it be to write a Dr. Seuss book? And just have it, passable. I think it'd be hard to get it published, I'm sure. But you just got to think of,
I would not even be
An
able to come
animal?
close.
you got to think of an animal and then give it a name that rhymes with what it is. Like Yertle the turtle.
I feel like the problem with writing a Dr. Seuss book now is there's too much slang in the world. Like somewhere someone would read that book and be like, that's the word that I use for
God.
penis.
Right,
I
he's
can't
gotta-
read this to my child.
Yeah. No, he's got a wocket in his
Yeah.
pocket. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You better keep that
Yeah.
thing to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want
Some of
my
those-
I don't want my 6-year-old child to see your whatever.
Yeah, your wocket.
Yeah.
Oh my God, keep your wocket in your pocket. A man was arrested for taking his
His
wocket
wocket
out of his pocket on
Yeah.
the subway today. Well, hey, when you see some of those
That would be
sexy
a good-
ladies extra
yeah,
longer,
That would be a good.
you get a walk in your pocket.
If Dr. Seuss ever makes it back in the news, that would be a good weekend update bit. Like you were onto something there.
yeah,
Just letting you know.
walk in his pocket.
Yeah.
Sexy
Little W in my
ladies
pee.
extra longer. It's worse when you say it like that. And I'll tell you what, Saturday Night Live has been very good this season. I've been loving it. I've been loving it.
You
yeah.
and you
feel
You're
like
the
they've
only
been getting
person?
back on track.
Yeah.
It's not all great, but a lot of stuff has been mad funny. And this week, Martin Short and Steve Martin are hosting. I'm so
Good
excited.
hosts.
I just feel happy to be like it's not a chore to watch the show for me like it was the past several seasons.
Yeah. Two things today happened to me. One, there was a song that I could not get, it was so stuck in my head all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a real song. It goes, the Danny Boy, oh, Danny Boy, the Danny Boys. Do you know what that's from?
Yeah, of course, from Role Models.
From Role Models. And I'm literally sitting there, singing this almost out loud because it
Yeah.
was so ingrained in my head that I didn't even realize. And then finally I had to say, do you know the movie Role Models? And people were like, yeah. And I was like, you know the guy who is a 5-year vet at Sturdy Wings and plays a guitar? The Wings song.
Yeah. Love,
Take me down to the streets. I know we talked about that before, but yeah, that Danny Boy was stuck in my head all day. The second thing that happened, for the second time in my life today, I was able to bring up the Beijing song.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And this is a Mandela. Not one person in the world besides us remembers that. Why do we remember that? That song.
Because it was one of the greatest moments in Olympic history
Thank
and
you.
television history.
So why does nobody else remember that? The first
I
time
don't know.
in my life
They're
I was
suckers.
ever able to bring it up. I think I've told you this story before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever
in
told it on
class?
the cast.
In class.
Have I told it on the cast?
Yeah.
I was kind of like the same thing today. I'm like, does nobody knows Jackie Chan's hit single Beijing?
Yeah, performed live during the closing ceremonies at the Beijing
And they're
Olympics.
like, wait, did he actually have a song? I was like, well, no, but yeah, he sang it.
Yeah,
at the
he was
Olympics.
there. He was there.
Beijing, Beijing, how I love Beijing. See, why are we with the people with the
Beijing.
white? He's in all white.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
Why are
love
we the only
Beijing.
people that remember that?
I don't know, because
Emily,
we're just
do you know-
blessed, I would say. I can picture the camera angle.
Yes.
So, I can see it so clearly.
Him coming down the steps.
Yeah, and he's just and his arms are around everybody. God, I love Jackie Chan so much. I love him. I was thinking about him.
Can you close us out with that song today? Probably not.
Was there something else I was gonna? Oh fuck! It probably doesn't matter.
I don't mean us singing. I mean as we fade away
put
into
it
the
in.
dark.
Fade
Yeah.
fade from here to the picture of Jackie Chan.
Not even
At
no.
the
The
Beijing.
video, the Olympics would definitely flag that.
Yeah.
But just the medley.
Beijing.
How
Oh, I love Beijing. This is how easy it would be for China to take us over. Is just have a good jingle.
Because remember watching that?
America loves jingles.
And remember watching that and being like, this is the most choreographed thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was insane. It was
was-
so impressive.
Yeah.
They did such a great job with the Olympics that year.
Yeah.
That was a great Olympics. That was the best Olympics I've ever seen.
2012?
2008.
And that was the year Michael Phelps snapped.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Best Olympics. Best Olympics.
Ryan
of all
Lochte
time.
was there.
Yes, he was. Peed in the pool without a doubt. He pees in every pool he gets in.
Getting robbed. Hadn't been robbed yet. to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't been.
Yeah.
But it's coming. It's coming.
It almost
If I
happened.
see Lochte in the streets, I'm like, give me your grill. He's like, I don't know where it is. That was his thing from
I had
the
a friend that got
reality show.
his grill or his grill?
His grill.
Oh, I had a friend that got his grill stolen once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by
Charcoal or gas?
gas.
Really?
By people that lived down the street. And he
That's the way it
obviously
goes. Yeah.
he obviously one night was walking home from a bar and saw his grill down the street. It was obviously his grill, and took
Yeah.
wheeled it back down the street to his house.
Just took it
Yeah,
back.
just took it. Yeah. And then
Get up off of that thing.
Yeah.
Give
Get
me
up
back
off of
my
that grill. Won't you just give me back my grill, my friend? I will cook both of us some burgers and some dogs, and then we can just hang out and have a barbecue, and then you'll understand. Please pass me the salads.
The salads?
Yeah. The salines.
Oh, the salins. I thought you said salads. Please pass me.
Keep your salads out of my barbecue. All I want to do is grill some meat. You
Is this the
don't
same
have to go. Everyone will want some potato salad. And by the way, we ran out of mayonnaise.
Sticks the landing, ladies and gentlemen.
I felt it. Man.
Let's go out on that.
All right,
there you
Andy,
go.
I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.